everybody. This is Richard Barker, the Incredible Hypnotist. How are you all? Good to see you. It is Monday, September the 28th. We're still in the scamdemic. It is 2 p.m. and I have some special guests for you that are going to be talking about traveling and mindset and all kinds of exciting stuff like that. If you've just joined us, go ahead and chat or put your message in the comments. And I'll be happy to display it, see where we've got and who we're from. Jackie's in the house. You are first. Jackie, well done. You're obviously not at school. You must be bunking off, which is an English term for, what do they call that in America? Bunking off. It's bunking off when you don't go to college or school. Anyway, we'll find that. So Jackie's in the house. Just type in the comments if you've just joined us, and we'll get you in here. I know Sarah is over in Ireland. So she's there doing a little bit of vacation. But what I thought I would do, Karen's in the house. Hey, nice to see you, Karen. Thank you so much for joining us. What I thought we'd do this week, we're going to do something slightly different. As you know, last week we had Tom Nicolai. The week before, Dr. William Horton, both of which have extensive hypnotic experiences and background. They teach hypnosis and coaching and everything else. But one of my other passions, apart from hypnosis, is, of course, travel and traveling around. So I love to travel. I love to see new places. And the next guest, we've got Katelyn and Howard coming on in a few moments, is these guys. These guys put themselves in an RV and pretty much traveled all over North America. It's a very interesting story, actually. So make sure you get your travel questions ready. Steven's in the house. Good to see you, my brother. Thank you so much for joining us. Jackie says, I'm in school, class starts at 4. I'm doing math right now while I listen to you. There's no such thing as multitasking, Jackie. You listen to me and put your math down. Do whatever you want, but school's not gonna, school's useless, just to let you know. Being an entrepreneur is way better than getting a job, as I'm sure my guests will attest to as well. So, a couple of you guys are in the house. I'm going to introduce our guests in just a few moments, but just a little background as to how we changed tact and why we're not actually interviewing another hypnotist. Is that I thought it would be interesting this time around to get a perspective on travel and to get a sort of awareness as to what it's like to be in a motorhome, and traveling all across North America and what that mindset entails. And I think the story's fascinating. I went on their YouTube channel, at NewState Nomads, and what's interesting is just all the different places and the blogging, the trials and tribulations of travel. It's quite interesting, and it obviously takes some mindset to be able to do that. So here's what we're going to do. Keep your hypnosis questions coming. But also don't forget to have your travel questions as well. Adam's here. Good to see you, my friend. Reagan is here. About to be late for class, she said, but that's okay. All right, well, never mind. We're more important than that. Like I said, that's okay. And so here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring in Katelyn and Howard. They're waiting patiently in their motorhome. I'm going to switch it over, and let's get asking questions. So, Katelyn and Howard, you're my friends. Good to see you. You're looking great.
Thank you. We try.
Now, and that's a lot of great recommendations regarding skipping school and pursuing jobs. I mean, you need to make money, right? I mean, that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. Now you come from a broadcasting background, pretty much both of you, right? And yeah. Did you go to school and everything for that? I mean, was that like how did you?
We did. Yeah, so I went to journalism school. I do have a degree in journalism, broadcast journalism, but no longer doing that. Yeah. But it did set a good foundation for future endeavors.
And then I have a degree in film, and I also have a executive MBA.
Wow, very nice. It's kind of tough in the I've been on the other side of the TV world. I haven't obviously done what you guys do, but I've been in those studios at like 4 a.m, 5 a.m. They're freezing cold and. I mean, I wouldn't want to be a weatherman or a news anchor, come to think of it. If you got the morning show, I mean, you got no life, right?
Yeah, I did that. I did the weekend mornings for 2 years, had zero social life.
Wow. Where was that exactly? What part of?
In Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia, yeah. I was on a station over there. It will come to me. But I just remember I got talking to the news anchor, and we were doing this little hypnosis segment. And what was funny was before I started, she passed out. she fell asleep in a nanosecond because she's like, oh, I'm using the word sleep multiple times. She's probably been up since 2, you know, makeup at 3, on set at 4. I don't know how it works, but like ready to roll at 4:35, you know. I don't know. I couldn't do it. It's brutal.
Right.
Yeah. I remember seeing that.
It was rough. It was.
Did you enjoy it?
I did for a while, and then it takes its toll on you. I'm much happier now.
And the other thing I didn't know, a little secret is a lot of you sort of stand on platforms, like little wooden boxes and things like that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of secrets. A lot of times people have slippers on. I mean, blankets, because it's cold. You're right about the cold.
Freezing. Why is it freezing? So you come, Howard, from a production. What is that for?
Well, it's cold because, frankly, it actually gets really hot. The lights and everything heat up the studio, and so you have to offset. And that's, generally speaking, the main reason is actually human comfort. But the other part of it, too, is that the electronics are very sensitive, and so if they overheat, you have no picture.
Yeah.
And so they will keep it quite cool. Yeah.
I see. So Ginny's in the house, says, where I am, it's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Where would you be at 8 o'clock? You've got to be in Europe. Perhaps 5, 6, 7. Let us know exactly where you are. Where's 8 o'clock in the world?
8 p.m. Yeah, I guess would be. I think that'd be Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're in Mountain Time right now. It's noon.
Yeah.
So 2 plus 5. So yeah, it would be. I think Europe. Yeah. Maybe even Russia.
Could be Russia. Yeah. Jackie says, y'all convincing me not to be in school. Stop saying y'all. It's you are all. You're all.
No, this one's Virginia. Katelyn will stand up.
All the time.
She will stand up to the y'all.
I'm with you, Jackie.
Fair enough. Convincing me not to be in school. My parents ain't gonna like this. Jackie, I thought you were English. Don't speak like this. My parents ain't gonna like this, but they won't find out. They don't know about my addiction to hypnosis. All right, fair enough. At least it's hypnosis and not something else, you know, like some weird stuff out there. All right, so what I want to know, so I'm gonna put you, Katelyn and Howard, on the big screen because I'm fascinated by your story. Having spent a lot of time in a motorhome and been all over where you are right now, which I know you said you're in Idaho. Tell me, so I'm assuming you're both at work, you know, doing your hustle, doing your grind, and at some point, somehow, one of you, I suspect probably Howard, just a wild guess, somehow talked about motorhomes and travel, and because motorhomes are a guy, you know, guys love I love motorhomes. So how do you get into where you're at, right from being at work and being a news anchor and a production and crew and everything else? What happened?
You're smart. Your inclination was right. So it was Howard. We were still living in Virginia at the time when he came to me with the idea. And I was on board, but it was always like one day down the road, we'll figure it out. You know, maybe when we retire, like, I don't know how we're going to make money from the road. So we kind of tabled it. We had looked at, you know, RVs and motorhomes. And then fast forward a couple of months, I had taken a job down in Florida. So we moved down there. We were down there for about 5 months, and it just wasn't the right fit. And kind of simultaneously, we had both started freelancing, moonlighting, taking on our own clients, doing marketing work, public relations, social media. So everything that we had been doing segued nicely into working remotely, and the stars aligned. And Howard was like, why not now? Like, we don't have to wait. We can both work from the road. Let's do this. And within a month, we were in a motorhome.
Yeah, that's it. No, really, what I will add to that is just that, frankly, for remote clients, there's no difference between us being in an apartment in Miami Beach or being on the road. You know, it's all exactly the same. Our clients are all across the country. There's no expectation that we're in one particular location. So why not RV? Why not get all those experiences and all those adventures while you're working?
So what about, okay, so your clients are, so remote working, what about equipment and things like that? I mean, don't you have to have any equipment?
Well, first of all, welcome to our office. You're actually, right now, you are seated at our office.
Nice.
We work from the dinette. So as long as we have a stable internet connection, which we have multiple cell phone carriers and things like that in order to guarantee that.
That was going to be my question. How on earth are you pulling this internet thing off?
Yeah, so we've got Verizon, T-Mobile, US Cellular, and Sprint. And so between the four, and then we just need laptops, frankly. It's all laptop driven. You know, there's that kind of like epiphany moment or that visual where people are like, oh, I could do this from the beach. You can't do it from the beach.
No.
The sand, you're not doing that. But within reason, you can pretty much do it anywhere in the world.
All right, so you approached Katelyn with this idea. Were you married, dating? Where were you at? Married?
Dating.
We're married now.
Yeah, we got married on the road.
Yeah, and
we were only dating at the time.
Yeah, actually, one of my clients, the president of that company, he said if we could actually pull this off and live together for a year on the road, we deserve to get married. Yeah. And so our reward was we got married. Nice. You know, so we were dating at the time when we moved to Miami. We actually got engaged in Miami, and we hit the road a month later. So it was literally like bang, bang, bang. Yeah. We were on the road.
You have to really like the person that you're living in 200 square feet with.
No.
Yes.
No doubt. Wow. Okay. So you've got the LTE on the Verizon. That's keeping your internet going. So you have some sanity. You know, some connection to the outside world.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We can Netflix and chill all day. Well, we have to work, right? Yeah. But you know, the thing about it too is like, people get this idea as well that like all we're doing is just playing and traveling or whatever. That is not true. We work during the day. You know, we have that flexibility because we work for ourselves, that if we want to bank our hours together and say like do a 3-day weekend so we can explore a national park or whatever, then we definitely do that.
So once you agreed on the date, you agreed to go on the road, and you're already working from home, you're freelancing and things like that. And now you're sort of getting closer to it, and now your mail, I'm assuming you're sort of changing the way you get your mail. A few things like this is all going down, right? And now, did you already have a motorhome, or you sort of, did you know anything about them?
Oh man, she grew up with RVs, specifically like travel trailers, pop-ups, right? Mm-hmm. And I had like rented some because of film production. I mean, I've done a lot of large TV and movie and things like that, and so we always had production trailers and stuff. So I was familiar enough with RVs in that respect, but we had never owned one. And we certainly didn't know what we wanted or needed. And so that was the next big hurdle. Was we had set this timeline artificially where we're like, we're going to hit the road in a month. Yeah. But that meant we had to look at hundreds of RVs in a month to find just the one that we wanted. And ultimately, I mean, we're extremely satisfied with the one that we have because it's perfect for people who work from the road because of the floor plan and everything we have.
What is it you have? Is it a Class A, Class C, B?
It's a Class C.
It's a Class C.
Yeah, it's a Winnebago Navion, which is great. So it has a Murphy bed, because that was important. We didn't want to waste space with our bed during the day when we're not sleeping in it. So the bed goes into the wall, has a dinette we can work from, and a huge kitchen. Those are kind of the three. And we have a full bathroom. People always ask, like, do you have a shower? Yes.
Yep.
They're showered and clean.
Yep.
Do you have the sleeper above the cab, the driving cab? Is it?
We do.
We do. We don't use it.
We use it for
sleeping.
Storage.
Yeah, we use it for lightweight storage and such. We have tons of storage on here. This is the thing too, is like people think that there's this huge compromise and sacrifice. There are compromises, but it's not nearly as bad. And frankly, the positives way outweigh the cons of not living on the road.
All right, so you now it's time. You get your motorhome. You've been to the RV shows and things like that, right? And now you're looking around. You go, this is the perfect motorhome. Now you put down your money, and now it's getting a little bit more real, you know. And
having flashbacks.
Like, now here we are. We're gonna be full-fledged gypsies. Gonna go on the road, right?
Yep.
How do you decide where to go? I mean, how did you decide where to go and what to see?
Wow. I mean, the first year was interesting because keep in mind we've been on the road 2 years now. So the first year, we had all these grand ideas. We were like, oh, we're going to go to Alaska, and we're going to go to Nova Scotia, and we're going to go to Mexico, and all this. And I felt much more structured. Like we had pretty much we kind of did like a clockwise rotation around North America is the way I would describe it. And we did, in fact, go all the way to Alaska in the first year, which is really wild because people don't realize how far away Alaska is from the continental U.S.
So far.
It is further from Seattle, Washington to Anchorage as it is from Los Angeles to New York. Oh, wow. So it is that far north and west. It's really far.
Did you go to Anchorage?
Oh yeah, we went all over Alaska.
Oh man. Okay.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So it was much more structured, I feel like, in that first year where we were like, okay, we really want to do this, and then we want to go to California, whatever. When we got into the second year, we were very focused on Mexico because we knew we wanted to go into Mexico, and we ultimately spent 5 months RVing around Mexico. Um, but beyond that, like now that we're back in the US, we don't really know where we're going to be tomorrow. I mean, it's become this thing where now, like, we're like, I think we should go to Utah. What do you think? It's like, okay, yeah, should we leave today? Yeah, let's leave today. Like that's pretty much becoming the normal conversation with us.
Yeah, it's just kind of whatever you feel like. I don't know. It's this weird, like, freeing feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's very little obligation. We have like there's a wedding coming up, right? And so we know that we have to either fly or drive to go to the wedding, but that's about it.
Because being free and being on the road, you're dodging all kinds of bullets out there now. With all the stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
Well, particularly with COVID, COVID has certainly changed. I mean, I will say that our experience in Mexico was drastically different because of COVID. We were into a mandatory quarantine for 3 months because Mexico had a national stay-at-home order. So we were freely traveling for 2 months, but then for the remaining 3 months, we were basically in one spot. Now, unfortunately, we were on an island, and it was really beautiful, and that was hard, but we persevered.
We did.
Yeah.
You got through it. You pulled through.
Somehow.
Yeah. Amazing.
McFly Swatter, my friend Dan, said my volume was a little bit lower. Hopefully that's better. I just turned it up on the back of the mic. Adam says, when traveling on the road, was there any obstacles to overcome? I'm sure you hit a bunch. What's some of the big ones?
Well, first of all, it's logistics. It's all logistics. It's where we travel and where we stay, we need to have internet connectivity, and so we're doing research in advance of that.
Where you find fresh water, where you dump your tanks, those kinds of things. And I will say too, just like holistically, communication. Like Howard and I have to be a team, and if something goes wrong, like we tow a vehicle. Right now, our tow vehicle has a flat tire. So like dealing with things like that, and it's just communicating and problem solving on the fly all the time.
Yeah, it definitely. I will say that from an obstacle standpoint, not all relationships will probably survive full-time RVing, just to be honest with you. It can be trying.
None of mine did when I was in a motorhome.
So you know.
Oh man, I know, I get it. Trust me. Yeah.
Yeah, but those definitely, I would say, it's communications, planning, logistics, and then the partnership, the teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
So leading on to that, then let's talk about that for a little bit. I know we're going to get some questions about your favorite places, obviously your obstacles. It's interesting that space isn't too much of an issue, right? Because you've got, but internet obviously is a big thing because you got to work off the road and everything else, and the water and like you said, emptying the gray, the black, and all the tanks and all that good stuff. And so. Let's talk about the mindset a little bit. You've been on the road for 2 years. What is your mind telling you? When are you coming off the road? What are you doing? Like what?
I'll say my mind. I think it's been kind of a roller coaster, and with anything in life, I think you go through these phases. And a year ago, I was in a very different mindset than I am now, and it does have its own set of challenges and I kind of was at the point where I needed a reset a year ago. And so we went back to Virginia, which is where I'm from, and I got to visit with family and friends. And once I was there, it solidified even more that this is the right lifestyle for me. It was good to recharge, but I was so ready to get back on the road and like see more things, do more things. And I think, when we both kind of come to a place where we're not fully enjoying it anymore, then we'll stop, but we don't have any intention to do that. I mean, I love waking up every day and not really knowing what the week's gonna hold, or that. I think that sense of, and for me, I came from a corporate world, a corporate background. I had things scheduled, constant paychecks, all of that. So for me, it took a lot of reworking how I think about things to get to a place where you let go of that control. And once I was able to do that, and I'm still working on certain aspects of it, but it's freeing, and I love it.
what she said.
But has there been a time though, the mind does play tricks on you, and you get those days where it's only another 18 hours till you can get to the gas station, and super super long drives. Don't you ever like go, what the hell am I doing? What am I doing?
Yes.
It's natural. We did commit to only doing 1 year to start. We said, okay, we're going to do 1 year. And look, we put all of our furniture, we put it in a storage unit because we wanted that escape plan. We wanted to be able to say, okay, it's okay, it didn't work out, and we'll just jump back into an apartment or buy a house and it'll be fine. After that year, I mean, as Katelyn said, there was kind of that moment where she was like, I need to recharge. I need to feel that sense of community again, because we had been very remote. That the tail end of the first year, to give you an idea, is when we went to Alaska. And so we were pretty much by ourselves. That can certainly, I think, start to play on you a little bit because it's like just the two of us all the time. And so your friendships start to kind of evolve where it's more remote and all of that. And that is definitely something that I think we have addressed in a couple of ways. One is we have tried to travel when possible. We caravan with others now, when we can. So like, for example, when we were traveling around Colorado for a couple of weeks, we were with another couple friends of ours, and we traveled together. When we were in Mexico, we actually traveled with 2 other couples. So there were 6 of us total that were traveling around Mexico. And that's not for safety purposes, but it's really just that connection, that interaction and everything. It really does help. I feel like it helps me, at least from a psychological standpoint.
And I think too, in those moments of like, what the hell am I doing? I try to
Katelyn, you said hell.
I said it first.
Okay.
That's okay. I nearly said the F word and I stopped myself. It's all right.
It's hard, right?
Facebook terms and conditions.
In those moments, I try to take a step back, and everybody I think it's natural. It's a human way of the grass is greener, right? Like in that moment, you're like, oh man, it would be so much easier if I just had my 9-to-5 job to go to, or if I had my apartment to go home to. And I just always take a step back and I try to remember all the positives, and that, we were exploring amazing waterfalls in Montana 2 days ago. Like, you try to just check yourself in that way and bring yourself back to what really matters.
Yeah, we have seen we've seen amazing places. We have had amazing experiences, food, all of that. And it would be, I mean, we in just 2 years, we have literally had a lifetime of travel already in 2 years. And so I can't even imagine if we go 3, 5, 10 years, I don't know. Like that's amazing. And that's such a gift and something that so few people, unfortunately, are able to really achieve.
Yeah, you're making memories that, I mean, obviously what you're doing is very unique, and a lot of people are unable to do it for one thing or another. Kids, elderly parents, bills, house payments, and all the stuff. And you've managed to sort of free yourself up and to do something that I think a lot of people would love to have the opportunity, but obviously they cannot. So it's I think what you're doing is amazing. So Adam says, I heard something about freelance photography. What kind of photography do you do, or is it just to keep record on your travels? It's a pretty good question. Yeah, how are you documenting?
And so actually, yesterday we crossed 10,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is a really big accomplishment for only
in February.
February, so 8 months. So we're growing really fast.
So it's more just to document our travels. Like, we're not doing it necessarily like we don't have a professional photography business by any means. But yeah, just videography and photography from a documentary standpoint. Like, we wanted to make sure that we were documenting this so that we can look back on it someday and then hopefully inspire others. Like you were just talking about, Richard, like so many people aspire to do this, and if we can help them see that it's attainable and they can do it, then heck yeah, we're going to keep sharing. Like, for me, that's part of the draw, to share all these ups and downs and everything in between.
I do want to touch on that actually also, is that I believe wholeheartedly that almost anyone can actually hit the road and do what we're doing. Almost anyone. There are certain trades, don't get me wrong, like blue collar work. If you work in a factory, if you're building something, that's just not plausible. That's not possible to do on the road. But pretty much any other type of career, you can definitely do from the road. And so if we're helping people, inspire them to maybe consider it, then I think that's a win for us. And it is something that we try and show, not just the travel, but also the experience of what is it really like to live on the road. And, you know, our channel, we have a lot of people who follow us because of the RV aspect, but then we also have a lot of people who follow us because of the overall travel aspect. I mean, we've been overseas a lot. And I mean, like we just since we hit the road, we've been to, let's see, Chernobyl, we've been to Budapest, Germany, Austria, the Canary Islands.
How are you doing that in an RV? You just like taking off and catching a flight?
She's got wings.
What are you doing? Using bat wings?
Yeah. If we could figure that out, that'd be great.
That would be amazing.
No, we just I would park it and hop on a plane.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we it's actually quite easy to find a place to store an RV for a period of time. Now it's our house, right? So that introduces another aspect too, though, because like unlike people, you know, people who have RVs truly for recreational purposes, recreational vehicle, they're not storing a lot of things that are like perishable goods and whatever, and we do. And so it is a little bit different in the aspect that we need to make sure that we have power secured or whatever it is in order to make sure that things don't spoil and go bad while we're gone.
So talking of RV parks, then some of them can get quite expensive. Are you like trying to off-grid it, or are you staying in these like what do they call them, what do they call, I can't remember, the old KOAs? Are you trying to stay in those?
So we actually are in the middle of, we're trying to see how long we can go. It's been almost 3 months since we've paid for camping. So we've been, they call it boondocking. We've been camping off grid. We have solar, we have a generator, so we can go for an extended period of time, totally out in the middle of nowhere.
We can go for a couple of weeks without hooking up or to dump our tanks or what have you. Our first year, I would say, was mostly campground. In fact, it was almost all campground until Alaska.
Well, our friends that we mentioned, their names are Don and Jason, and High Rise to Highway is their Instagram. They really inspired us. They don't ever pay for camping, and they've been on the road, I think,
longer than us.
And so when we met them in Alaska, and then just recently reconnected in Colorado, and they really inspired us to start camping off grid and staying in places that you don't need hookups. And so that was kind of the switch over for us.
Which that's kind of scary into itself, not because of like the safety aspect. Well, I mean, I guess you could say that's part of it, but it's like we have to run off of our batteries. Well, our batteries hold, and you know, do we have enough water? I feel like we're going to run out of water. Like there's all these new fears.
Are you the people that I see like hanging around the back of Walmart and places like that, Target?
We've never stayed in Walmart.
We've never stayed in Walmart.
I say that as we're parked outside of Costco right now.
Well, but that's because they're fixing our tire. But we rarely, if ever, I mean, if we're en route somewhere, we might stay like at a Cracker Barrel, for example.
Because you get breakfast.
You get breakfast in the morning. Like, so, you know, Cracker Barrels are a great kind of like midway thing. Cabela's, we've stayed at a couple of Cabela's as well. But otherwise, everything else has been a lot of camping, like out in the woods, near beautiful vistas and all of that. That's the thing. It's like we have a home on wheels that we can park almost anywhere. And so, you know, if there's legal camping that you can do in these areas, you're perfectly set up.
A lot of public lands you can stay on for up to 14 days at a time. So we take advantage of that.
I tell you what, you know, in my days of motorhoming, when I was in between shows, I loved it because I know you've got 3 dogs, right? What kind of dogs do you have?
We have 2 puggles, so it's half beagle, half pug, and that's Piper and Ella. And then we adopted a dog when we were in Mexico, and her name's Scout. We have no idea what she is.
Wow.
Some kind of like a rat terrier mix.
100% adorable.
And that's a good thing because from an emotional standpoint and a hypnotic standpoint, I think dogs, having those kind of companions, unconditional love, they're not whining about how long it's going to take to get to Utah, are they? Or, you know, when's the next gas station? You know, they're just happy to be with you. You know, happy to be there.
They're all sleeping right now.
I mean, they're so comfortable and calm. But I will tell you, initially they weren't calm at all.
Right. It took a while to get their mindset right for living on the road.
Yeah. Interesting. So I got a comment from Acid Gaming. Like I say, you get all comments in here, and I read most of them. This is for you, Howard. Your wife is hot. From Acid Gaming.
I agree.
You did good.
He did say AF, but I don't know what that means. No.
We'll tell you after the show.
Thank you. And then Karen says, such a cool experience. What's been your favorite place so far? Excellent question.
Okay,
Hard
so
one,
this
isn't it?
is like picking your best, like your favorite children kind of thing.
So
I don't
hard.
feel like we're going to come up with a perfect answer. Um, I will tell you that some of the top places that we have been in the RV, I loved Alaska. I
Hmm.
loved Mexico. There were areas of Mexico specifically that were just so beautiful, and the people were so friendly, and the food was so delicious that I would want to go back. Um, those would be kind of my top, I think. Also Nova Scotia.
Hmm.
We went all the way up. So in 1 year we hit all four corners of North America, which is kind of crazy. That's like we drove about 30,000 miles in 1 year. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so I would say those.
Yeah, Alaska for me, that was definitely a challenge mentally because it's so far and so remote. But then once you get there, I mean, the payoff is just absolutely incredible landscape, and it was beautiful. One of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. And then, yeah, I would have to, I'm not copying him, but Mexico as well was incredible. I love Arizona too. I grew up on the East Coast and never saw any landscape or anything like, out west, and I love saguaro cactus.
Yeah.
So Arizona holds a special place in my heart.
Oh, I want to point out, by the way, so behind us, move your head a little bit.
Let me go full screen. Hang on. I'm going to go full screen, and then
Okay.
that way I can see. All right, we got you. We got 1, 2, 3, 4,
Five.
5 pictures.
Yeah, so we collect postcards because it's really hard to you can't collect souvenirs when you live in an RV. Like, where are you going to put them?
Yeah.
So these are flat and small. So these are like our top 5 right now, like favorite national parks that we've been to. So Wrangell St. Elias, that's in Alaska. Haleakala, that's the volcano in Hawaii, on Maui. Kenai Fjord, that's also in Alaska. Alaska is so beautiful. Saguaro, because Katelyn loves her saguaro cactuses.
Yeah.
And then Yosemite. Yosemite was one of the, actually, that was the first national park that we stayed in the national park.
Yeah.
So it kind of holds a special place in our heart.
Have you been up to the Redwoods and had a look up there?
Yes.
County?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Man, I just realized we actually haven't kept track of like counting how many national parks. We have the little passport book, so we stamp it every place we go. But we haven't actually counted.
I know, we need to.
Probably
We've been bad tourists.
All right, let's get back to some comments here because one of them is about me, and I love it when people do this. Thank you, John. Says, love you, man, the greatest hypnotist.
Oh.
What is it you want? What are you after? Money? I'm kidding. Thank you, sir. Jackie is back in the house. Says, what was it fun making your RV a homey vibe? Yeah.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, that's actually a great question.
Yeah.
Since we had looked at so many and we had such a short window of time where we knew we were going to hit the road, this one checked most of the boxes for that. And then it was fun, like putting, the personal touches, hanging, pictures, pillows, blankets, all that kind of stuff. And it really is comfy and homey. And then we have all the comforts that you would have in a home. So like we have a coffee maker. Trying to think like
Instant
what else?
pot.
Yeah.
Our kitchen is fully equipped. We have a convection microwave, so we can bake things. So we make pizzas if we want to, or cookies or whatever. So yeah, we can pretty much prepare any dish. The thing about RVing, I kind of almost equate it to like buying a pre-built house that comes furnished.
Yeah.
You don't really get to pick. It's kind of like you're buying it because it looks a certain way. So this one already had the color scheme that we were looking for, the cabinets that we were looking for, the finishes, and the accessories. So it had, as I said, like the convection oven and things like that, convection microwave. So like you're definitely looking for something that's relatively ready to go. Otherwise, you're taking a route, which, by the way, I'm all for, which is renovating.
Some people have done amazing renovations on RVs, and then you get to take it a step further with, making it homey and making it your own and bringing in furniture. Like, there's some incredible builds out there. We just didn't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
I looked at one once that had a chandelier in it. Actually had a chandelier in this motorhome.
Like amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We don't have a bathtub, sorry to say. But I have seen one that has a bathtub in it.
Wow.
Yeah. Bubble baths.
Talk about a waste of water. That's incredible.
Adam says, which of the 4 corners of South of America did you enjoy the most?
South of America. Okay. Well, we only have done North America, but south of the United States, I would say for Mexico, we So because of the pandemic, unfortunately, we weren't able to complete our entire journey. In fact, we're going to be returning back. And spoiler alert if you haven't seen our videos, but we're in the process of becoming temporary residents of Mexico.
Oh, nice.
And so that way we'll be able to freely travel back and forth across the U.S.-Mexico border as much as we want over, actually indefinitely, technically. But I would say for Mexico, Guanajuato, which is a beautiful colonial city, lots of very vibrant color buildings, delicious food, wonderful people. Grutas de Tolantongo, which is something that looks, I mean, literally it's out of like one of those magazines, like the Ultimate Travel List magazines. Yeah. So it's built on a cliffside, it's hot springs, and they have built these man-made pools that hang off the edge of the cliff. So you're in a hot spring, hot water, overlooking a beautiful valley, and then that feeds into a teal river that is also hot. So it looks
so cool.
Yeah, it's like Lord of the Ring-ish or something. It's really wild. So I would say maybe those two places for me.
You're giving me the travel bug. Type yes in the chat if you have the travel bug and you feel like you want to buy an RV right now and go on the road.
Come along. Come caravan.
Start to travel.
That's right.
Jackie says she loves to have a coffee maker. Loves that you have a coffee maker in your motorhome. Fellow coffee addict here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Dan, by the way, is I didn't know your Skype, you're on YouTube. Dan is McFly Swatter, is handle, but Dan actually is the world's greatest sword swallower.
What?
Swallows swords and is the best in the world. Guinness
That's
Book
amazing.
of World Records. I don't know how many TED Talks. Been on America's Got Talent, Romania's Got Talent, Germany's Got Talent, and I don't know how many other Got Talents. Done a lot. And his comment is LOL. Come on, Dan.
Well,
give us some more.
I think that really captures the sentiment right there. It's just LOL.
I don't know if he's laughing at the four corners of America or coffee or that I'm the best or whatever. But anyway, thank you, Dan, for your
The important
comment.
thing is he's laughing.
That's right.
I'll take it. So all right. So here's the thing. So you've citizen of Mexico. That's interesting. What justification do you need for that? I guess is what are they looking for you to be is it money? Money.
They want to make sure that you can financially support yourself while you're there without having to work there. Yeah. So it basically just boiled down to that. Yeah. And I mean, it was a very easy process. We were approved because we did our homework and had all the paperwork in order. We were approved within an hour. Mm-hmm. At the Mexican consulate. We went to the one in Denver, but there's consulates all over, and there's different requirements at different consulates. So
yeah, well, actually, we're gonna have a video I'm looking up at the board.
2 weeks. In
2 weeks, we're gonna have a video actually all about that because it is a process, but as long as you have all your paperwork in order, it's relatively straightforward. As she said, it takes an hour to get approved.
Wow.
Because right now with COVID, the borders are shut down to non-essential travel, meaning like we can't go back as tourists. Yeah. So since we're temporary residents now, that gets us back through.
Oh, sorry. And just to be completely clear on that, you can legally fly into Mexico right now. There's no restriction whatsoever on that. So like people go to Cancun right now. It's driving across the border in either direction. Both the United States and Mexico and Canada, actually, for that matter, it's all of North America, have restricted non-essential travel for driving purposes.
So why is driving not okay and flying? Is that just one of those things?
$1 million question, right? I know, it's so weird.
Just a thing.
Just a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that red tape.
I wish I had an answer for that one, because it certainly would have saved us a lot, time and effort and everything. I mean, we had to put together a whole packet of documentation, but it is, it really doesn't make any sense.
No.
So you mentioned your filming schedule. So tell us a little bit about your channel, how can we find you on YouTube, and what kind of stuff can we expect coming up? I know that Mexican one sounds fascinating, and you have a schedule. It means you're pro YouTubers, that you have a schedule of videos. Look at you.
Oh yeah. I'm like, literally, we have a board. We like in our office. So I would say.
Well, first, how you can find us?
Yeah.
It's youtube.com/NewState Nomads. Yeah. NewState is our last name. It is a real last name.
Oh wow.
that it you know, is travel related. So
Mm-hmm.
NewState Nomads. Yeah, we started it in February,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's been awesome.
We have so on the channel there we did 25 episodes specifically just on Mexico because it was such a huge part of our travel overall. Since we started the channel, I mean. And then we have also episodes on the United States. Those are we call those New State in the States. And then there's we have like Viva New States for Mexico. But New State Nomads is also for Instagram, Facebook. We don't do Twitter yet. And we're not doing any TikTok dancing yet.
Nah, please don't.
Nor will I ever.
No? You're not gonna, you can't, wait a minute. You can't, you're telling me you can't like do hypnotism like briefly on TikTok to music?
I just don't like it.
Okay. I know, I'm an anti-TikToker.
Yeah, it's just not my sort of thing, you know, I guess. No. How do you do your video editing? I'm assuming you park up one day or one night, and because I don't know how many people out there know this, video editing is a pain in the rear end. I mean, it's not easy, and it's hard, and you got to learn it and to make it good anyway.
So, right. I mean, luckily, when I was a reporter, so I shot and edited all my own videos. I was called a VJ, which is a video journalist. So I did all that. I had a foundation for it, thank goodness. But yeah, YouTube is a full-time job on top of our other jobs. So yeah, it takes a long time. I mean, some videos can take 2 days, 3 days, just depending on the length, you know, what the topic is. So yeah, we'll just we dedicate time, just like we do with our clients, to finishing the videos. And it's not just the videos, you know, you then have to market them, and there's a whole thing, you know, that goes along with it. So it is. But I will say, like, I do the video editing, and it's a creative outlet for me. I do really enjoy putting it together, searching for the music, you know, having fun with it.
Yeah. We both, okay, this is the thing. And I don't want to make it sound like I was just like, okay, Katelyn, like, you're good. We both edit. We both can edit. I mean, we both come from media backgrounds, just different. She was on news. I was in like TV and film. So like we both have the technical abilities to achieve anything that's in our videos, which yes is a major competitive advantage. I'm not going to lie, because I feel like our stuff, you could very easily see it on TV, on real TV, given the finish and everything. But even if you don't have that level of experience, it is certainly something that you can do. It just takes time.
And so many people have done it and are very successful at it.
Absolutely. And so it really just comes down to, like, if you aspire to do it, if it is something that you want to do, there are tons and tons of video tutorials online that teach you how to do it. And you just got to do it. And over time, you will improve and you will get better.
Yeah. And YouTube was a whole different world from news editing. I mean, like when we first started, our videos have evolved over the course of 8 months, and you just, you get better with it. You watch what other people do. You pick up different techniques and make it your own.
We found out that the attention span of YouTube viewers is much shorter than like traditional TV. And so we had these really long intros, and we're like, this is so cool. We had this like really cool animation and everything. Like, we cut the whole thing. And that made me cry because it was really beautiful.
Mine used to be about 1 minute 10 intro back in the day. And now you heard the intro at the beginning. I think it's like 6 seconds or 8 seconds, and that's it. And it just goes straight in. I do my own editing. That's why I was asking. I have outsourced it. I've had editors. I've had camera people. I've had all kinds of things. We've had storyboarding and the whole 9 yards. And I just spent this COVID on lockdown learning Final Cut Pro, and learning all the plugins and this, that, and the other, and just using, as you say, music resources that I sign up for Epidemic Sound, because it's just royalty free and decent. And just started learning my way, and they got a little bit better. They could be much better, but what I find is when you outsource, when I outsource the videos, it takes so long, really long.
Well, and then you don't have full creative control. Like you can put your own personal spin on it.
That's right. And everybody has a style. That's the thing too, is your editorial style is different than Katelyn's and is different than mine. And sometimes I will say, like, between the two of us, it gets pretty interesting. I'm not saying heated, like I'm like you know, but we just have different styles. And so I'm like, no, I think this would play better doing it this way. And it's like, well, I disagree. And and so we we have to like negotiate, even between the two of us.
I got to show you something. This might be good for you on the road. I got it right here. Hang on a minute.
Okay. Want to say hi?
I just picked up this. This is not the 360 lens, but it's an Insta. You see that? It's an Insta 360.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It does 360 footage, and I'm just starting to do like virtual reality 360. And I recently just drove to Key West, and 7 Mile Bridge. I just stuck it on the roof of the car and it came out great. So I'm going to start doing 360 video of people getting hypnotized, and I'm going to stick this right in the middle between like me and the subject, and so that everyone can have a little, you know. So that's something that's exciting coming up. I know yeah, that'll be super cool. Which leads me on to, have you guys ever been hypnotized?
I have not. Have you?
No. I mean, I've seen it. I mean, like I've seen it on TV, you know, but no, I can honestly say, unless I am unaware, I have never been hypnotized.
What do you think hypnosis is? What do you think it is, or isn't? Put you on the spot.
A room full of professional hypnotists. I would say my interpretation of it would be that you are getting someone into such a relaxed state that you are able to kind of channel and reach deeper into their mind. That would be the way I would interpret.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Hey, and what do you think?
Yeah, I would say that it's you're letting go of all inhibitions, like, and it's just reaching into a place that you might not have access to on a day-to-day basis, and it's a deeper release of emotions and thoughts.
Because all our thoughts, behaviors, belief systems, emotions, habits, they're all in the subconscious mind. We just don't access them every day, or we don't always access them when we want them. So we have emotional reaction to an event. You know, maybe that's getting bad-tempered, or maybe that's getting nervous or getting sad. But if we reached into the subconscious mind, we'd have a more positive outcome or reaction, you know, or action. So a lot of people don't know why they smoke or bite their nails, or can't understand why they're gaining weight. And it's not because they're deliberately trying to do that, bite their nails, smoke, or gain weight. It's because subconsciously they don't know what they don't know, so they don't know they're doing it. And what hypnosis is useful for is sort of reprogramming the subconscious habits that you do every single day, almost like your subconscious rituals. So although it's good for entertainment, it's also really good therapeutically for de-stressing and relaxing. So a little test for you. I want to try something. Just put your hand up like this, both of you, in the center. It's not hypnosis. That's it. That's it, Howard. Just move your hand in a little bit. There you go, like that. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Make a perfect circle like that. Wonderful. Wiggle the tops of your fingers. Look at my hand. Look at yours. Good. Make a gun like that. Make a gun. Make a perfect circle, nice and fast. Make the peace sign. Peace. Make a perfect circle. Look at mine. Look at yours. Right, quick, and place it right there on your chin. Yeah, your chin's here though, isn't it? That's where your chin is. It's not.
Oh.
Sorry, that's not hypnosis. That's just me being an idiot.
Yeah, that's a game of Simon Says, but really good.
But you both did it. That's a good thing.
Oh
that's
yeah.
Great.
Oh yeah.
I heard Jin, but I followed you.
Yes. Yes. Which proves the mind can't multitask, and it can easily get confused.
I believe it.
Do you feel? I actually have a question back regarding that. Do you feel like the disconnect between like visual, because obviously auditory, you know, we heard you say chin, but we saw you do this. So do you feel like that's a common thing?
There's a delay. I think there's a delay there's a delay on a few factors: hand to mouth and eye to voice. There is a delay that subconsciously you can create a pattern interrupt. You can interrupt the equilibrium of what somebody's thinking. So when I'm rapidly speaking, you know, make a gun, make a circle, you know, make the peace sign. Your mind's going, why? It's always going, why? And no, I don't want to do that. Why am I doing this? And the mind starts sort of thinking outside of, why am I doing what I'm doing? And then it just has to go into autopilot. And autopilot, us growing up, are just told to do what we just do and follow. So we're automatically not thinking anymore, critically thinking. And that is sort of a subconscious, you just follow through and you don't know why you're doing what you know. But as soon as the critical factor kicks back in, you know that actually your chin is here and not there. So it's
Right.
so we play on the fact that you can very quickly change somebody's perception, literally just by sort of rapid fire a little bit, just a few rapid words and suggestions. So
Fascinating.
I don't know if these are your friends, by the way, but we have Blessed 2RV.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
hi guys.
Oh hey.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
friends are in the house. They say
Yeah.
I loved your intro,
Oh,
and then we got some tears. So I guess you changed your intro.
Yeah. Well, now it's like super fast, but it doesn't. Um, if you were to look at the one today,
Yeah.
I think it's maybe 3 seconds, 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, the
And
animation.
the old animation was about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
But man, it was so cool, and there was like all kinds of world icons flying around, like Big Ben and all that stuff.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, it's all travel, all international, and then we cut the whole thing. No.
Yeah, it's interesting, because talking about YouTube, they score your channel based on watch time,
That's right.
and yet there's no attention span anymore. So it's proven that shorter videos are better than longer videos, but the more watch time you
Right.
get,
Right.
apparently the
This
better
double-
your rank and rate.
I mean, I in 30 seconds or less, I will say, from everything that I have watched of YouTube corporate, like the videos and such, they claim that average view duration as a percentage is what they really care about.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, it's if your video is 10 minutes and somebody watches 6 minutes of it, that's great.
Yeah.
If somebody watches 2 minutes of a 10-minute video, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And so, like, if your video is 3 minutes and people are only watching 30 seconds, also a problem.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to, can you keep someone engaged and interested, and is the video length an appropriate length for whatever the story is that you're trying to tell?
And are you telling them? One thing I noticed is what seems to work well, and Brian G. Johnson. I think that's how we connected.
Oh yeah,
on Facebook.
that's right.
I think one of the things I learned is as long as the title is what you are going to do on the video, that's helpful. People don't like it when, someone posts a video and it says, warning, the reasons why you should not buy the Oculus 2 or whatever. And then the new Oculus 2 comes out and he's like, this is awesome. This is great. But he had the thumbnail was warning, reasons not to buy it.
Yep.
Right. Clickbaiting.
It's clickbait. Yeah.
We
Clickbait.
try never to do that.
Yeah, that's really bad. If you get kind of caught doing that, the algorithm, oh man, like the machine knows.
It's gonna get
This is what's so amazing. It's like, YouTube, they're looking at so many different things to figure out, is this video interesting, and who would be interested in watching the video? Yeah.
So Blessed 2RV says it was very cool. That's your intro.
Oh.
Becky says she's multitasking. I prove you wrong. LOL.
Well, Jackie, I mean, I just don't know what to say anymore, because Jackie is the one that's in school, right? The one that's
in college, yeah.
Yeah. See.
Yeah. Or are you
not
in college, Jackie?
Not following your instructions at all.
She might not be in college. She might be thinking she's in college, but watching YouTube live.
Maybe she's enrolled in the Khan Academy. That's all online. I mean, yeah.
So here we go. We want to take any last minute questions about traveling on the road, living in a motorhome. We've got about 5 minutes. Anything to do with hypnosis, now's your chance to throw a question in there. Anything about the countries and the places and everything else that obviously, Katelyn and Howard have traveled to. But okay, I got a weird question for you, since I'm the weird one in the room, apparently. What's the worst place you visited?
Oh man, it's hard.
You won't offend anyone, don't worry.
Oh. I can tell you the worst. The worst campground we've ever stayed in is in Tampa, Florida. No, actually, it's in Clearwater, Florida.
I know it.
Do you?
Yes.
But it was very bad.
Let me ask you a question. Hang on. Since you said Clearwater, it's not really Tampa, but I know that little area of hellhole that you might have discovered yourself in, kind of halfway between Largo, Clearwater-ish. Did it have a wing
It was in Largo.
house?
It was in Largo.
Right, I know this one. Did it have a wing house near it? An
Yes!
wing house? All right, let me ask you another thing. Did you venture across the road and see some crappy little bar? Or didn't you go that far? It's a bit busy highway.
It is a busy highway. There's like a little like a strip mall of. There was a good Indian restaurant nearby.
Yes, there was. There was a good Indian restaurant across the street.
We didn't go to a bar.
Down over.
So you're saying that's the worst one you've ever been to, and it's not too far from where I live, funny enough.
Well, no, the area, here's the thing. We have, I mean, I want to be clear. Yeah. We have friends in that area. We have family in that area. It's not the area. It's that RV park is really bad. Yeah. And the only reason why we were even staying there was because it was free. Because when we bought our RV, we got this 1 year free camping with this huge chain. And that was one of their locations. Now, some of the other locations from the same company were great. Yeah. This one was terrible.
You know, the sad part is I've also stayed there.
Really?
In a motorhome, yeah. And I was on a corner lot, thinking that, oh, this is good. I got a corner lot, but some people are permanent residents there.
That's right.
That keep getting visits by the police and things like that.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. That's so funny. You know it.
Yeah. Well, and and I will say, in again, like a 30-second version, there are very different types of campgrounds.
Yes.
A national park campground is not the same as like these mobile home / RV parks, which can sometimes in cities. They can be, I mean, drastically different, and not just like clientele, just the overall quality of it and what you're getting, what amenities you're getting out of it.
So that's the worst RV park. What about a place you were just highly disappointed? Like it just wasn't anywhere close as picturesque or nice as you kind of were hoping it to be.
I do feel like we've had some. Well, in Colorado there was a. We specifically stayed in this one area because there was a hot spring. Yeah. Then we get to the hot spring and it has like not been renovated since like the 60s and it just didn't look very nice. And so we were like, no. And so we like turned around and left. And that was a little bit of a bummer because we had specifically gone and stayed in that area because we wanted to go to that place.
Yeah, that's a good example.
So
I feel like we've been pretty lucky. We try to do our research. I mean, thank goodness, like the internet and reviews, they're reviews by people just like us. And so most of the time people are pretty transparent. And so we can typically avoid a situation like that. So
it's also a little bit that because we have a travel channel and we're trying to show people aspects of it, we do research the areas, generally speaking, that we're going to head to because we want to find those unique off the wall places and really show those off. So it's rare that we get trapped kind of in a bad situation or a bad area.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, any last questions? We're quite happy to take them. We've got just a couple of minutes left. I'm just going to let you know, guys, about what's happening next week. I have decided to next week dedicate the. There I am. Next week, I'm actually going to dedicate it. There won't be a guest. It will just purely be about learning hypnosis, learning things about hypnosis, and what it will or will not do. So next week, no guest, just me. If you are going to be in the St. Pete Beach / Treasure Island location and you want to get hypnotized live, right on live streaming, then I don't mind doing that for you. Just cost you a couple of $100. Just come by. Okay. I'll probably donate it and let you have the experience for a few moments. But next week it's all going to be about hypnosis. That'll be October the 5th. It will be at 2 p.m. and no guest. And then week after that, we're back into hypnotic guests. Make sure you follow Howard and Katelyn's journey. Obviously, they're going all over the place. They're getting their Mexican residency. You're in Idaho right now. Where are you heading next?
Utah. We're going to the big top parks in Utah. Nice. So it should be a really beautiful place, and we're really excited to share it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that over in Park City in that area, or?
Well, Park City, that's where Sundance is. So we're going to be mostly south of it, although we will be in Salt Lake briefly. But most of the parks are kind of to the south. So we'll be like Moab area, Arches National Park, and things like that.
But we'll be in your area in December, so we might take you up on it.
Let's stay on and talk about that after.
Okay. What are you doing? Are you going to the beach?
We can't tell.
Oh.
We have a wedding.
No, we have a wedding.
My best friend's getting married. Yeah, out that way. So yeah.
Okay. So Adam's just squeezed in a question. Let's see what he's got. Just wondering how much does it cost to travel on the road for long distances, distance travels, or have you got side jobs and incomes? I guess gas is pretty pricey, isn't it? How much are you gas or diesel in your vehicle?
We're diesel, which right now is great because it is very cheap.
Yeah, it's cheaper than regular
regular.
gas right now.
Yeah.
Because we do we have jobs, we do work, and the travel itself, I mean, we save money by living on the road, believe it or not.
For sure.
Our motorhomes, we have like a mortgage, and it's less expensive than it was on our 1,000 square foot apartment in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So
by a long shot. I mean, we're paying a third what we were paying in Miami.
Yeah.
So even when you factor in travel expenses of fuel, insurance, and whatever, we still come out way ahead.
And since we're camping for free, since we've been camping for free for 3 months, I mean, we're saving a ton of money that way. So you can do it really cheaply.
Definitely. If you can find a used RV and you don't have a payment, it is not outrageous to say that you could live for a couple $100 a month. Now, I mean, you know.
Did you guys pay over? Did you pay over 100,000 for your motorhome or under?
You want to say over? Yeah, we paid over that, but I paid way under
He's
MSRP.
a good negotiator.
I paid way under MSRP.
Yeah.
I know. When I was looking at getting a new motorhome, and unfortunately, I have rich blood. I started looking at the Prevost buses. You know, the big.
Oh my god. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Those go over $1 million.
A friend of mine has one, and it was because there's a lot of Prevost dealers in and around sort of Central Florida, and he picked one up and it was only $560,000.
Oh, that's it.
For an old like it was 1994, but this thing had marble floors and underfloor.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You could have a little electric car, inside it rather than towing.
Right, like come out of it.
Yeah.
I know.
There's a dealership that's on Long I-4. I don't want to call out names, but there's a dealership that all they do is sell those.
Yeah.
And we went there because they also have like Class A's, and we weren't sure what we were looking for initially. And we get there and he's like, "Do you want to see some cool stuff?" He like literally takes us on like $1 million bus.
I know that guy. His first name starts with a D. That guy. Yeah. Over towards Sanford that way.
No, it's oh, actually, I'm sorry. No, you know what? It's not in between the two. It's between Tampa and Fort Myers.
Yeah.
And it's along it's along the interstate. It's along 75.
Yeah. We actually bought in Florida.
We did. We bought in Fort Myers.
Here's my theory on why there's a lot of RV dealers, motorhome dealers in Florida. It's not much to do with old people though, but my take on why there's so many RV and motorhome dealers is that people buy their motorhome in Michigan or places Wyoming or I don't know, and they want to go traveling. They get as far as Florida and they kind of literally run out of steam. They're like, "Oh my God, this is not for us. We got down to Florida, it's baking hot. The AC's not working. Here, take it." And then they get a little condo on the ocean, and that is
exactly what I can confirm that because. There was a couple that we're very friendly with the dealership that we bought from. Like we've been in constant communication with them about good stuff. And they, the sales manager for that location was like, "You're not going to believe this, and he points over to a Class A, and it was a $600,000 Class A, and it had 2,000 miles on it.
That was it.
And wait, it was 6 years old. And he was like, all they did was they left it in one spot, and then they drove it down to Florida, and then they wanted to sell it.
Yeah. I hear that a lot as well. So, all right. So we're vastly out of time. Thank you so much for everyone that came on and looked at the broadcast. We had a whole bunch of people. That was good. We got some nice questions in there, a lot of interest. Katelyn, Howard, thank you so much for your time.
It was fun.
Thanks.
Safe travels. I know you're in and around Idaho, so I know you're having fun out there, and we appreciate you being on the channel, and keep in touch. I'll post all your links on the replay description. It's going to be on YouTube. And oh, your doggy's waking up.
Yeah. One of them just literally shook. Sorry. Do you want to meet one? Here, wait.
Yeah, of course.
Here, hold on a second.
Always like to show the dogs on the live broadcast.
Here we go.
Hi. Here's Piper.
Oh, look at that.
Say hi. Oh, and here's Ella.
They all want to come. One of them is still sleeping. But anyway, this is 2 out of the 3.
Mine is here, but she's whoa, there she is.
Oh, hi.
That's Andy. We always say goodbye with the dogs if we have dogs. There she is. Oh, it's right up there, sweetheart. There, she's camera ready. See, at all times. Hey.
Yeah.
Well, very nice to chat to you guys. Thank you for everybody that came on the live, and we had good fun. That was a great time. Thank you, Howard. Thank you, Katelyn. And don't forget, next week, guys, make sure you subscribe, by the way, to this channel, Incredible Hypnotist, and also your channel is NewState Nomads on YouTube, and you can find it just by searching NewState Nomads. Bring up the channel. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the alert notification bell so you do get told when all the new videos are coming out. And we will see you October the 5th. Oh, by the way, October the 5th, which is the next one, I'm moving into an oceanfront beach condo.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
They're talking about bills. Talking about a lot of bills. I'm about to get some.
What area? What area?
It's right on Sunset Beach in Treasure Island.
Oh,
we know. There. Yeah, we have friends. Oh, we should definitely talk.
My phone's ringing. Go away. All right. Well, take care, guys. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Adam says, really enjoyed the live stream. 1982-3. Michelle, good day, everybody. Everyone's saying goodbye to you guys. This will be on the YouTube channel in about 5 minutes. And we'll see you. Safe travels. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much. All the best. Bye now.